everyone. Welcome to Virtual Storytime at the Weston Public Library. Today, with the permission of HarperCollins, we're going to read a brand new book called Little Houses. And it's written by Kevin Henkes and illustrated by his wife, Laura Dronzek. We've read a number of books by Kevin Henkes. Owen and Chester's Way, these are all, and Lily's Purple Plastic Purse were all books written and illustrated by Kevin Henkes that have little mice in them. A lot of fun. But some of his later books are illustrated by his wife, Laura Dronzek, just like Birds and When Spring Comes. So let's enjoy this book about little houses. And right from the beginning, you can see on the cover what the seashore. A little girl has her bucket, and she's looking at all those shells. Have you ever been to the seashore? Are you excited to spend some time this summer at the seashore? Perhaps you will collect some seashells. And have you seen some shorebirds? So much fun to watch. And if we wrap around this book, we can see that there's lots of wonderful things on that beach. And on the end papers, what do we see? Lots and lots of shells. Shells like these that I brought from home. Conch shells and clam shells, all kinds of fun shells. The world is so big and there is so much to know. Do you ever wonder about the shells on the beach? Who once lived in them? And how far they traveled? Do you ever wonder about the ocean? How deep it is at its deepest part? And what sorts of things might be under the water? A walk on the beach, listening to the sound of the waves as they roll in and out, is a perfect time for wondering about this and that. A walk on the beach, picking up shells that were once little houses, is the perfect time to dream and imagine and to make memories to bring back home. So let's find out what happens in this book about the seashore. Little Houses by Kevin Henkes, illustrated by Laura Dronzek. There you can see a little sandpiper. And another shorebird and some more sandpipers. And lots of shells. When I visit my grandparents at the beach, we stay in a little house. It is so close to the water, you can hear the waves. Can you imagine that sound? Have you ever stayed on a house that close to the water? That is a special treat. Sometimes I think someone is calling me, but it's just the waves coming in and going out. A whisper or roar. I run up and down to meet them. Have you done that? Chased the waves in and out, and they just keep coming and coming. Every morning, we look for shells. We almost always find something good. We only keep the ones that are empty. Why is that, do you think? Because the ones that are full have live creatures in them. You wouldn't want to take them out of the water, would you? Grandma reminds me that the shells are little houses. And that gets me thinking. They're little houses for little sea creatures. Thinking of thin pale walls of pink or gray. Imagine. White or white. Look, there's a little creature in there. Can you see him peeking out? Shiny or dull. A rounded orange room. Who is in that orange room? Is that a crab peeking out? Or one with brown spots like freckles? But who lived here? Where is it now? Is its ghost still inside the curved walls? Is that the sound in a shell? Is that the tiny ghost I hear? Have you ever put a conch shell up to your ear and listened? Can you hear what sounds like the sea? Or perhaps it is the ghost of the creature that used to live in there? Who knows? We look for empty little houses all morning. Over the sound of the waves, I hear Grandma say, "Things we cannot see." I don't know what she's talking about, but I nod anyway and wonder about all the things that might be under the water. Have you ever wondered about that? What kind of creatures are swimming around in there? Things you can't see above the water. Fish as big as cars. Creatures whose names I don't know. Lost toys. Lost coins. Lots of lost things that were cried over. Have you ever lost things in the water? Things that you had along the beach and the ocean came up and whoosh, took it away, and it will end up down at the bottom of the sea like this little flip-flop or this doll. Things that might turn up one day, rolling onto the shore. Maybe just a piece of something to show everyone. Sometimes you might find some sea glass on the shore, a piece of a bottle that was thrown into the ocean. Beautiful, beautiful, just beautiful, Grandpa always says. He also says, the world is so big and there's so much to know. And someday you'll know it all. We both smile. Do you think so? Do you think someday you'll know everything? I would like to know it all. I'd like to know how far each shell has traveled. Imagine where each shell has traveled in the ocean to all these different lands, and how old the rocks and stones are. 1 million years old, 150 million years old, oh my goodness, 900 million years old. Imagine stones that old. I'd like to know how deep the water is at its very deepest part. It's pretty deep, I think, don't you? Look at all those different creatures, the octopus, stingray, turtle. And how can it be blue and gray and green and silver and white and black all at the same time? Have you seen all those colors in the ocean? It can look very different, can't it? I'd like to know what a pelican thinks of a sandpiper. A pelican who has a very big beak and a little sandpiper. What do you think they think? And if a snowy egret has ever seen snow, what do you think? Snowy egrets tend to live in warmer climates where there probably isn't any snow. Why do you think they're called snowy egrets? I think it's the color of their feathers. They look like the color of snow. So right now, I'll walk up and down the beach looking for little houses and thinking about everything I don't know. There's so much to enjoy at the beach, so much to explore and discover. But one thing I do know is that I will take some little houses back to my house where they'll sit on the shelf in my bedroom. I'll put my favorite in a special place. Do you have some favorite shells that you've collected? Perhaps this summer you can collect some special ones and put them on the shelf in your bedroom. And notice she has a little whale. A house in a house in the world. And there she is hugging her little whale. And there she has her special shell right beside her. And they're all, this is a little house in her little house in the world. And I think earlier there was a picture. It's a picture of, oh, do you see something in that picture? Do you see a little dolphin? Yes. She loves those sea creatures, doesn't she? Well, I hope you have a chance this summer to find some of these wonderful shells. Pick someone up, put it in a bucket, take it home, and enjoy some of the memories that it brings to you. And we'll see you next time.